Have you ever experienced a strange detachment from the rest of the world? A vague sensation of being slightly out of sync with everything around you? You gaze out into your surroundings and cannot believe what you see. Experience that are so extraordinarily nonsensical, you wonder if the world has gone mad. In this new series exploring the Viridian Method, you'll begin to activate, recognize, and hone your V state. Many of the concepts that follow may seem strange or otherworldly. This is because they speak directly to another part of you, an aspect that lays dormant, awaiting to hear the words that will cause it to awaken. So let us begin on our journey into the T layer. Where do you begin when working with the universe? We are part of an infinite universe, a place, state, without boundaries and limitations. Any quantity you assign to the universe, such as space or time, can never significantly account for the entire universe. As soon as any finite quantity is used to describe the infinite, whether it is in part or whole, there is always more than can be comprehended, and there is always something other than the quantities you describe. In an infinite universe where no single quantity accounts for very much, where do we start to make sense of it all? Where do we begin unraveling the abstraction? More importantly, where do you begin creation? Universal potential is infinite, and when you can have anything, absolutely anything, beyond our world, beyond perception, beyond anything that we could imagine, where do you begin? There comes a point where an X is placed somewhere in all of this inconceivable potential, and this X marks the place where it all begins. This finite X has no real definition, and being a quantity in a place with no other points of reference, there needs to be some form of definition. So a sphere is placed around the X, and this sphere acts as a mirror for the X. Whenever X is seen in the mirrored sphere, further X appear and additional spheres envelop them. Thus we begin to see universal definition, basic parameters that grow and build layer upon layer until we end up with a rich diversity of endless realities. Each X is merely a reflection of some other X, projected at a unique angle. Stars, planets, and life itself are all part of this endless conglomeration of forces and classification, which began with a single X at some point. From before we were born into our world, we have been subject to these forces and classifications. Our genetic code, the blueprint to our species, our shape, size, facial characteristics, eye colour, disease profile, and so on, leads us to social codes and parameters that tell us what life is all about, why the world is the way it is, and how we should behave within all that vast, paradoxical system. Subsystems and other parameter definitions define additional aspects of life, such as relationships, family, work, interests, dreams and wishes, and so on. By the time we reach our adulthood, we are so often entrenched within this vast and complex array of interwoven systems and parameters that we cannot even conceive there is anything else, We do what we do every day, in every place we go, and in every action we take. And then suddenly, at some point, some people just stop. There are those in the universe that are so immeasurably intelligent that our whole world and everything connected to it is a single thought process. These intelligences defy description because whatever is said about them, they are always more and different. These are simply described as the T layer. The T layer desires, the closest concept we have to it, connection to the B field. This is what motivates T layer to do what it does. The term B field is a simple label for a force we cannot understand within our current physical parameters. Both the T layer and the B field exist within the universe, but they have the seemingly impossible ability to appear separate from it. The T layer are those who put down our first X. They gave us our first parameter, and upon that the complexity we know as our reality was created, and this enabled us to evolve it to what we perceive today. At some stage in our development, we became aware of the T layer. We realized that the concepts of time, space, and so on were all just perspective. We understood that rather than just one X in infinity, every point, every state, every definition in the universe is an X. And with that realization, we decided to go beyond the parameters shown to us by the T layer and our fellow humans. When we began to rewrite our existence, tearing down the barriers that had limited us for so long, we acknowledged that we are infinite potential. When we started to transcend the image of the physical self, we found a state of being known as Viridia. Connecting to that part of you, your Viridian self creates V-state, and V-state is where we begin. It is our first X. It is bliss and perfection. It is where we start to experience our T layer and the endless possibilities of universal creation.